Stop buying compost. These perennial plants build soil for you for free. For generations, gardeners have been taught the same seasonal ritual: buy compost, stock up on soil amendments, and repeat the process year after year. This cycle may keep gardens alive, but honestly, it keeps gardeners trapped in an endless loop of expenses and labor. What if there was a better way? A method that not only saves money but builds soil that grows richer, healthier, and more resilient every season, without constant outside input. At Soil and Crop Central, we believe the answer lies in perennial soil builders. These plants are living amendments. They work quietly, year after year, to enrich soil naturally, creating the kind of fertile ground that sustains abundant harvests with minimal intervention. Instead of pouring time and money into compost piles and store-bought fertilizers, you can grow plants that make the soil stronger on their own. Why does the compost cycle fail in the long run? Well, adding compost and fertilizers does improve soil temporarily, but it also creates dependency. By constantly bringing in external inputs, you're treating soil like an empty bucket to be refilled, rather than a living ecosystem capable of regenerating itself. Over time, this approach leaves soil less resilient, unable to retain nutrients, and more prone to erosion and drought stress. Nature shows us another way. In forests and grasslands, nobody spreads compost or synthetic fertilizer, yet these ecosystems thrive for centuries. The secret is in the plants themselves. Many perennials have evolved to draw minerals from deep underground, foster beneficial microbes, and return organic matter to the soil in perfectly balanced forms. By weaving these same plants into your garden, you can break the cycle of dependency and allow soil to regenerate naturally. Comfrey, the deep-rooted nutrient pump. Among all perennial soil builders, Comfrey stands out as the most efficient accumulator of nutrients. Its roots can stretch several feet into the ground, mining minerals that annual crops could never reach. These nutrients are drawn upward and stored in Comfrey's broad leaves. When the leaves decompose, they release potassium, phosphorus, and nitrogen back into the topsoil, precisely where your other plants can use them. Gardeners can speed this process through a simple chop-and-drop technique. By cutting Comfrey leaves a few times during the season and spreading them around fruit trees, vegetable beds, or berry bushes, you create a natural, slow-release fertilizer. To make a liquid feed, place 1 kilogram of fresh Comfrey leaves into a bucket, cover with 10 liters of water, and let it steep for 3 to 4 weeks until it turns into a dark concentrate. Dilute this concentrate at a ratio of 1 part liquid to 10 parts water and apply directly to the base of your plants. This method provides a nutrient-rich feed that rivals commercial fertilizers, but it comes from a plant that continues producing season after season. Yarrow, known as the root architect and fungal ally, plays a unique role in the garden. While Comfrey builds fertility by mining minerals, Yarrow strengthens soil through its extensive root system. These roots create channels that allow air and water to penetrate deep into the soil, which helps prevent compaction and improves drainage. But that's not all. Yarrow also fosters partnerships with beneficial mycorrhizal fungi. These fungi actually extend the effective reach of nearby plants' roots by hundreds of times, forming an underground web that shares nutrients and water across plant communities. Yarrow's benefits don't stop below the surface. Its flowers attract predatory insects like parasitic wasps and lady beetles, which help control pests naturally. By planting yarrow in strips between vegetable beds or around orchards, you're strengthening both the soil and the ecological balance of your garden. Over time, these perennial roots and fungal partnerships create a soil structure that can hold more organic matter, resist drought, and support more vigorous plant growth. Clover really is the free nitrogen factory of the garden. Nitrogen is the single most limiting nutrient in most gardens, and buying nitrogen fertilizers is, well, one of the biggest recurring expenses for many folks. Perennial clovers solve this problem for free. Through a partnership with soil bacteria housed in their root nodules, clover plants capture nitrogen directly from the atmosphere and convert it into forms plants can use. Unlike annual legumes that provide just a one-time boost, perennial clovers such as white clover and red clover enrich soil year after year. Beyond boosting fertility, clover acts as a living mulch. Its dense ground cover helps prevent erosion, suppresses weeds, and keeps soil moisture in place. Paths lined with clover naturally prune underfoot traffic, all while fixing nitrogen into the soil. In raised beds, clover can be sown around the edges or between crops, creating a green carpet that continually improves soil health while protecting the delicate ecosystem beneath. The real power of perennial soil builders isn't just in what they do, it's also in where and how they're integrated into your garden. Around fruit trees, Comfrey acts as a living mulch ring that continuously feeds both the soil and the tree itself. Its deep roots also help break up compacted soil, improving water infiltration and root penetration. Between vegetable beds, Yarrow strips create biodiversity corridors, improving soil structure below while attracting pollinators and beneficial insects above. Clover, on the other hand, really shines in spaces that often go overlooked, like pathways, bed edges, or even the surface of container soil, places where it can quietly enrich the soil without competing too much with your main crops. This kind of thoughtful placement turns soil building into an invisible process. So, while you're tending to your vegetables or harvesting fruit, these perennials are working below the surface, improving conditions for every plant around them. The greatest strength of perennial soil builders lies not just in the nutrients they provide, but really in the living ecosystems they support. As roots grow, die back, and then regrow through their natural cycles, they leave behind these organic rich channels that become home to bacteria, fungi, and all sorts of soil invertebrates. This whole underground network actually increases the soil's ability to hold onto water during heavy rains and lets plants tap into deeper reserves when things get dry. And above ground, the flowers of plants like yarrow and clover attract beneficial insects that settle in and establish permanent populations in your garden. Over time, these insects step up as reliable pest control so you can cut back on chemical sprays or manual interventions. With each passing season, your garden becomes more self-sufficient, less vulnerable to shocks, and honestly, just more abundant. Establishing perennial soil builders is really an investment in patience and vision. In the early years, you might still need to add a little supplemental compost or fertilizer just to get things going, but within 3 to 5 seasons the transformation becomes, well, unmistakable. The soil takes on this dark, crumbly texture and has a rich, earthy aroma, a clear sign that microbial life and organic matter are on the rise. Plants grown in this living soil system show stronger resistance to pests and diseases, they're more tolerant to drought, and their nutritional quality is simply better. Over time, the need for purchased amendments just dwindles as the perennials keep quietly doing their work year after year. Maintenance becomes minimal, maybe an occasional pruning of comfrey, some seasonal cutting back of yarrow, or gentle management of clover. Beyond that, the system really does sustain itself. The shift from annual amendments to perennial soil builders is more than just a change in technique, it's really a change in mindset. Instead of fighting against soil depletion, you're collaborating with natural processes. The result? A garden that grows stronger and more productive every year, and it needs less work and fewer outside inputs. Think of it as leaving a legacy. By planting perennial soil builders today, you're creating fertile ground that can sustain not only your own harvests, but those of future generations too. The initial effort of getting these plants established pays dividends for decades, turning gardening into a practice that's rooted in resilience and abundance. Stop wasting money on compost and fertilizers that only provide short-term fixes. Let perennial soil builders create a foundation of fertility that grows richer every year. Start this season by planting comfrey, yarrow, or clover in some strategic spots and just watch as they begin their quiet revolution beneath the soil. For more transformative insights into soil health and sustainable gardening, make sure you subscribe to Soil and Crop Central and share this guide with your fellow growers. Together we can build a community of gardeners who really get that the best soil improvements come not from constant purchases, but from working with the power of living systems. Soil and Crop Central.